Hello everyone, and welcome back. Today in the workshop we've got the chalk bark maple. Chalk bark maple, as always, is exploded with growth this spring. This tree's grown very well, but we do have the problem with the internodial distances on this tree, and that's why we've decided to make it a larger tree. What we need to do today is get that canopy back into shape. We need to remove a few branches in here that we had growing last year in case something else didn't pop. And we need to get everything just cut all the way back to maybe one set of leaves. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start on this side of the tree first. I've got this branch here growing right out in front. It's not really doing me a whole lot of good. We'll go ahead and cut that on back to 2. I'm just basically going to go through here and cut this way back to some inside growth to where I might be able to get this kind of in line with itself. Of course, like always, any upward growing branches are immediately eliminated. Any down growing branches are immediately eliminated. Everything else we're going to cut back to one set of leaves. And if there's anything that I can cut back to that's inner growth, I'm going to do that as well. Anywhere we have overlapping branches, we're going to remove those overlapping branches as well. Alright, now that we've cut everything back to 2 sets of leaves around the canopy, I'm starting to look down inside this canopy, and what I'm noticing is a lot of small weak growth down inside here. And what I think I'm going to do is kind of going to be drastic, but I'm going to cut all of my strong branches all the way back to a weak one. And I'm going to see what happens. Because like I said, I do have a lot of really weak growth in here. And I'm hoping that if I cut back to that weak growth, that will help get smaller internodial distances on this tree. So I'm going to go all the way around this entire tree. And it's kind of a drastic move, it really is, but anything that's strong is going to get eliminated in favor of something weaker. And we're just going to go all the way around this tree and cut all the way back to this weak inner growth that's really shaded out in hopes that that will create shorter internodial distance on these branches. This one here, I'm going all the way back there. So we're going to do that all the way around this tree and see what that gets us. There's got to be a way figure this tree out, because that's just unacceptable. Can you see that growth? That's absolutely unacceptable. I mean, that's from here way up to here is the first set of leaves. You know, that's a good 4 inches. So we've got to just keep trying different things and hope we finally crack the code on this tree. Like I said, it has not been an easy one to figure out yet. And even the weaker stuff that's in here, I'm cutting it back to 2 sets of leaves. So we shall see what happens. So let's go around this whole entire tree and cut way back in here to this weaker inner growth. Let's see what that brings us. Way over here from over there. We don't need that crossing in there so far. That's a pretty drastic move. I think it might be a necessary one. Growing this thing out here, I wanted it to kind of fill in this canopy here. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cut it back and let it start back budding to fill this area in now. So I've got kind of a irregular rounded shape. Now I'm going to go in here at all the small stuff and I'm going to cut it all back to 1 set of leaves as well. I mean, it's still got some fairly long internodal distance. Not quite like the other stuff. And fingers crossed, I'm thinking this might kind of be the secret to keeping this tree in line, is that it's got this large, robust growth that grows out, and then back down inside the tree it has weaker growth that grows out, and it's kind of shaded. And I'm hoping that if we continue to cut back to that stuff, that's the stuff that gives us these smaller, weaker leaves. You can already tell on this tree by looking at it now that the leaves that remain are a lot smaller and weaker versus the leaves that were on there before were much larger. Obviously, the stronger of the two. So maybe we continue doing this. Let's grow it straight up. We don't need you. That's growing straight up, that's growing straight down. Let's take that back all the way in. There's some weaker stuff there that we go to. Again, this is a maple species, so we definitely want to leave a nub for dieback. big difference between the primary leaf that was on this tree, which is this one here in my hand, and what's on there now. About a third of the size. Like I said, this was everything that was back down inside the canopy that was shaded from the rest of the light. So we're going to give that a try and see what that yields us. Still cleaning out a little bit, some stragglers and some dead twigs from last year. Anything I see crossing over each other needs to be eliminated as well. Okay, I think we have it. That's what we've got this year on the tree. It's kind of back to where it was before, per se. I anticipate a back budding on this one, just like the rest of them. And we may even be able to cut this thing back in further and get some smaller internodal distance growth on the tree. Keep our fingers crossed and see what happens. Just got a couple more things here to thin out. Alright, let's do a quick little 360 on the tree. Get it back out on the bench. Thanks for watching.